Mal. Welcome back to the Doll Mom Podcast. It is episode 40, which is absolutely crazy to me that I just said that. We are on 40 episodes already. We've done 39, we're doing 40. It's just absolutely insane that we are here today. So in today's episode, I thought it would be really special to kind of get to know me. Something that I always ask my guests when they come on is, how do they get into dolls? How do they get into the doll social media world? And I thought for the 40th episode, I've never really talked about that on here. Why not I talk about that for episode 40? And then we're going to be getting into some summertime plans, what I'm up to in the doll room, what projects I'm working on, and then we're going to talk about the Kansas City meetup. I am super duper excited for today's episode, so I feel like without further ado, let's get episode 40 started. So I was trying to think about how I wanted to do this segment. Do I want to put on an accent and ask me the questions and pretend that I'm a guest on my own podcast or what? But then I thought that would be really weird to do. So I'm just going to ask them and I'm just going to answer them. So yeah. Okay. So first question, how did I get into dolls? So how did I get into dolls? Okay. So I started collecting in 2009 when I was 6. Back then, I did not know what collecting was. I was a child. Okay. I had no clue what I was doing. So I honestly can't really remember how I got into American Girl dolls. The first memory that I have of American Girl is two different ones. So the first one is I was obsessed with this 2009 holiday catalog that I got in the mail. I took it everywhere with me. Even after 2009, it came on road trips and things. I remember looking at it in the summer of 2010. I was so obsessed with it. It's in the worst shape possible. The cover's falling off, okay? It's rough. It's been loved, I will say. So I was really obsessed with looking through that catalog with my mom and dad. I brought it to school with me, showed it to my grandma, my grandpa. Everybody was sucked into looking at this catalog with me. And then the second memory that I have is I used to go over to my neighbor's house when I was little, and she had Krissa. And so I remember looking at Krissa and being obsessed with her because, I saw her in that catalog. So anyways, kind of backing up a little bit, I remember sitting on my bed in my room when I was little. My mom was picking out clothes for me to wear for the school week, and I was obsessed with looking at that catalog. And she was like, well, for your 6th birthday, your dad is going to Chicago, which at the time, and still now, there was a store in Chicago, and we went to meet up my dad on a work trip, and we went to the American Girl Chicago store, and I remember how the store was set up and everything, even though it was over, I don't even know how long ago it was 2009. I remember how everything was in the store, and it was so life-changing because I've never really seen that when I was little. The only places that I've been to that was toy stores was Target. I mean, we had Toys R Us back then. I've been there several times, but it was so magical. I loved dolls ever, growing up and stuff. So we went there for my birthday, and I got my first doll. It was a bitty baby. Her name is Baby Mia. And I got a couple outfits and little accessories for her. I even got an outfit for myself to have a matching moment with my doll. And back then, they had this thing with the American Girl magazine where they took your picture with your doll and they put you on the American Girl magazine as a special edition for you. And I did that, and I still have that. It was very magical. I really loved that day so much. I'd get teary-eyed because it was life-changing. What can I say? I really enjoy it. I have a lot of pictures from that day as well, walking around the store and stuff like that. So that was my first doll, Baby Mia. If we're getting into Pacifics, my first ever 18-inch doll was Rebecca. I received Rebecca for Christmas that year in 2009. I asked for Santa Claus for her, and he came through. But kind of going back to what I was mentioning earlier, I loved dolls growing up. It's so funny because my mom always tells the story. I don't know if I've ever told it on the podcast before, but whenever we would go to Target or Walmart for groceries or something, I would always pull her into the toy section and beg for a doll because I loved dolls, and I would always tell her they need a mommy, like I would throw it up, like I would really persuade her into getting me a doll because I loved dolls. My great grandma, she was a doll collector, so I feel like doll collecting kind of runs in the family. My mom loved dolls. My other grandma loved dolls. And another story that I will tell, I'm so sorry, I'm full of stories right now. Before my mom and dad ever had me, they loved going up to Chicago. And on one trip that they went up, they actually got to visit the original American Girl Chicago store. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so jealous of them that they got to visit the original one. And they keep telling me different things from it over the years, like how they remember seeing Angelina Ballerina. They saw one of the original shows. And it was just, yeah, they said it was pretty incredible. And my mom always says, when she was walking around the store, she always thought if she ever had a daughter one day, she would love to get her into American Girl, which I think was, so sweet. And I feel like that's such like a visible strain moment too. I don't know if you believe in that theory, but I strongly believe in the invisible strain theory with different things. And so I feel like that's kind of, invisible strain moment, Do I collect any other doll brand besides American Girl? So this is a little bit of a complicated question for me, I feel like. So I mainly collect American Girl dolls, okay? But I do collect the Our Generation food sets. I love it when Our Generation comes out with food sets. Those are right up my alley. I was always obsessed with fake food growing up, so I don't know if that kind of contributed to my obsession with doll food. I don't know. But I collect those. I do have a couple Our Generation dolls. I got some growing up, and then when I got to work with Our Generation one summer, I did get a couple dolls. I can't believe that came out of my mouth. I got to work with Our Generation. Like, how crazy is that? And then I do love the Queen's Treasures food sets as well. I love their brand. I do have 2 dolls from them. And then I do have a couple My Life. Do collect their food sets as well because I do love their food sets. Once again, I am a huge doll food fake fan. So I do have that. And then I'm trying to think what else I have. Oh, I do love Ruby Red too. I do have a couple of them. Barbie, I was a big Barbie girl growing up. Before American Girl dolls, I was into Barbie. And still, like, growing up, I played with Barbie heavily when I did have American Girls dolls. I did collect the Chelsea dolls for several years, but then I kind of stopped in 2017, 18, just because it was kind of getting too much for me to juggle American Girl and Chelsea. So I stopped. But I will say it's very hard for me not to pick them back up again because I do love a lot of the stuff that they've been releasing. And then I do have a couple Barbies that I have bought within the past couple years. The ones that I decide to buy is just the stuff that I feel like is like very meaningful to me. Like, for example, I love the Kansas City Chiefs, so I had to buy the Barbie Kansas City Chiefs. And then I bought the Barbie Stony Clover Lane because I liked Stony Clover stuff, so I bought her. So there's like a couple things that, means something to me if I buy a Barbie. Like, I really love the Barbie movie, so I have like 2 of the Barbie movie dolls. And yeah. And then I have a couple Rainbow High and Shadow High dolls, but I don't really collect them. I don't keep up with the releases, I will say that. And then I do have a couple Monster High too. Monster High I loved growing up, so I bought a couple of the Creep Productions or the Reproduction dolls. I know that's not right, like the actual name, but I try to keep up with those releases, kind of like being the knowledge of them, but I don't really buy them because, like I said, I feel like I'm trying not to get overwhelmed, So, and then I also loved Ever After High growing up. I have several of their dolls. Like, I almost have the full collection. I should do a YouTube video over them because I do have quite a few of them because I loved them. I loved the concept of the line, and yeah, those were really fun. I loved them. That would be a doll brand that I would love to come back someday, Ever After High. And then, growing up, I loved also Polly Pocket. I also loved, it just slipped my mind. What doll brand was that? Oh, I had Disney princesses growing up. Okay, all the Disney princesses. And like, I even had some like movie dolls like High School Musical. I had those. And then I had Hannah Montana dolls. I had my Justin Bieber doll. I had my Demi Lovato from Camp Rock. I had like the Disney Channel dolls. I had like Bella Thorne, Zendaya, Teddy Duncan. I had just so many different ones, like China Anne McClain. I got her for Christmas one year. Like so many different dolls. I just loved dolls all around growing up. And I still have all of them because I can't get rid of them. And I also have a ton of baby dolls. I have Cabbage Patch. Can't get rid of them either. So I don't know what I'm really saving them for, but I just really loved them. So, it's kind of hard for me to get rid of stuff that I really loved growing up. So how did I get into the doll social media world? So this is kind of a funny story. So I feel like I need to tell you this story before I kind of give my answer because it kind of makes sense. So I found YouTube before anything else growing up. So I found YouTube. I was really obsessed with Justin Bieber, okay, growing up. It was a short-lived era, but I loved him so much, okay? I feel like everybody has one of those, eras where you're kind of embarrassed to talk about growing up. That is my era, okay? I don't really like him anymore. I kind of, embarrassed that I went for that, but you know what? It happened for a reason, okay? That's how I found YouTube, was through him, because I Googled his songs to listen to when I was little, and because I had my own little, white computer. It's very old, okay? I got it for, Christmas 2010. So I Googled him, and his music videos came up, and so I was watching his music videos, okay? And I decided one day to just look up American Girl on YouTube, and through that, I discovered this whole community of people making videos and posting about their dolls, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. I love this so much. But, I was 7 or 8, and of course that's very young to be on YouTube. My mom and dad did not want me to start a YouTube channel that young, which totally valid. I totally agree. But instead, I decided to make videos using my dad's phone because I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a camera back then. And so I would make videos on my dad's phone, and I'd be so proud of them. I would show them, to my mom and dad after I got them done. In 2013, for my birthday, I got my own camera. And so then I started making videos on my camera. Once again, I was very young, okay? I did not have a YouTube channel. I did not post those videos. I still have those videos, by the way. They're somewhere on my hard drive. They are in the vault, okay? So anyways, so I got a camera and I started making videos, okay? Over everything. Honestly, I took it to American Girl Kansas City. There's a clip in American Girl Kansas City video. I think it's The Store That Built Me, of me going to the Isabel release. That is from that camera. So that, I guess it's a little fun fact of the day. So then almost a year later, in 2014 in August, I decided to make a YouTube channel. This is not my proudest moment, okay? I was a good kid growing up, okay? I never did anything bad, okay? I never broke any rules or anything that my mom and dad set out for me. I never snuck out, never did anything, okay? Never was rebellious, I should say. This is the only rebellious thing that I have done, is going behind my parents' back and making a YouTube channel. And I started posting my videos. And I kind of technically did it with permission. I asked my grandma and she said yes, but I asked her when she was falling asleep, when she was really tired and she wanted to go take a nap. And so I was like, okay, can I do this? Because I knew she'd say yes. I was kind of a scheming kid, kind of a little bit. So I did it with a cousin that I was really close to at the time. And yeah, we made a YouTube channel and I started posting videos, and I kind of kept it from my parents a little bit. I didn't tell them about it, but my grandma did. My mom comes into my room one day when I was trying to edit a video to post, And she was like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, nothing, just surfing the internet. And she's like, I know what you have. I know that you have a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh no, like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, I'm not mad. I just wish you would have asked, but it's fine. And I was like, okay. So I didn't really get into a whole lot of trouble, which was good. I thought I would, but I didn't, So anyways, moral of the story, always ask. If you're young, always ask your parents before you do something. Don't be a Mal. Don't be a little me. That's the only rebellious thing I've done. I would like to say that. Yeah, it just kind of just fell from there. A couple months later, I started an Instagram, and I met my first ever doll friend, Toby, 2007, which now her username is To Be a Doll. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. So what is the reason behind your social media username? So the reason behind my social media username, I don't really know. Honestly, like, I made my YouTube channel in 2014. I was going into 5th grade, and I think it's just because I love dolls and I loved rainbows growing up. But, kind of over time, the username means a lot to me. I feel like that's kind of something like everything happens for a reason. I feel like I needed to have the username Dollies and Rainbows because, growing up, my mom always called me Dolly and as like a nickname. And rainbows mean so much to me. I always love the meaning behind rainbows. I love how there's this quote that I really resonate with, and it's, there's always a rainbow after the storm. And that has really came true in my life over the couple years of suffering through different things, going through mental health issues, battling an eating disorder, different things like that. I've always really connected to that quote, and that quote has really came true in my life. And so that is something that I always love to share on my platforms, inspirational quotes, and there's always, in the message of there's always a rainbow after the storm, because it's true. You might not see it. It might take a little while for it to come out, but there's always one. Trust me. We are now getting into my summertime plans, what I've been up to this summer, different projects I'm working on, and the Kansas City meetup. This is going to be a long segment, so sit back, relax. Let's chat about our dolls, right? So I'm sharing this with you in hopes that it kind of inspires you to do something with your dolls this summer. Maybe it encourages you to start that's something that you've been delaying, because I've all been there. I feel like we all have been there doing something that we know that we have to do, but we just kind of just been, putting it on the back burner. And let me tell you, there's this one project, okay? I'm going to talk about it. Last summer, I started reorganizing my Truly Me bins because everything was everywhere. Like, nothing was in the right bin. Okay, I didn't even have the bins labeled into like sports stuff, casual dresses, back to school outfits like I do now. So last summer, it took me like 2 days. I'm gonna be real. I went through the bins, the Truly Me bins. I dumped everything out of all the bins, and I put all the outfits together. I put them into categories, okay, and then I put them in a bin. I labeled the bin. And let me tell you, my life has been so much better, okay? Because I did that. Like, it's not so stressful trying to find an outfit or trying to find that one piece of a mix and match thing, Like, it's life-changing. Highly recommend that you do that with your Truly Me outfits. Doing that, I had a ton of holiday stuff, okay? Which adds up because the holidays, Christmas, my favorite time of year, okay? All my dolls get stressed for it because it's just so magical and I just love it. So I realized I had a ton of holiday stuff and I did not have a whole lot of bins to put them in. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get a big bin, like a regular just storage bin. I don't know the size of it. If we're going to be real, I probably should have looked at it before, we started talking, but whatever. And we're just going to put them all in there. I'll try to figure out how I want to organize them, okay? So I shoved it all in there, okay? Holidays came around, wasn't organized, okay? There was a ton, like this past holiday season, I feel like was awful doll dressing wise because I did not go through, I didn't really have the time, I guess. That or I was delaying it probably a mix of both, to go through this big bin and organize all of the outfits. You know, put the dress together with the shoes and the headband and the purse and whatever else goes with it. So it was a rough dressing year for the dolls last year. Like, there is a lot of dolls missing the shoes, missing a headband, outfits weren't that complete, whatever. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want the same thing to happen this year, you know, looking ahead. And so a couple weeks ago, I decided to sit down, go through this bin, you know, because I'm redressing the dolls. I'm changing the dolls out of their holiday stuff, putting something else on them. It took me a full day. I'm not even kidding you. It's still not organized, by the way. Like, spoiler alert, like, it took me a full day and it's still not where it should be. So I sat down, it was a rainy afternoon, and I ripped off the lid of the bin and I poured it all out, and I put, you know, dresses, you know, together. I put mix and match collections together, and all this stuff. And so I got these big bags, plastic bags, and I'm putting the clothes in, I'm putting the outfits in, and then I'm using my label maker to kind of label it. So, like, I have all the 2022 mix and match outfits together, along with that holiday dress that went with it, okay? And then so I did that, okay? It drove me crazy. Like, I sat down for like 5 hours. It was a lot. And I was just like, I cannot do this anymore. So there's a ton of stuff that I still need to organize, and the bin will not shut. So I had to go to Walmart last week and get a new bin. So now I have 2 bins of Truly Me stuff, which I feel like is really embarrassing because it's just holiday outfits. I feel like it's such a Elle Woods thing, or like, what's a popular like character in a movie that has a lot of clothes, you know, something from there that the dolls are, because yeah. So I still need to go through and reorganize different things. And then also, another thing I want to do with the holiday bin, I want to print out pictures of the outfits and then put the pictures in the Ziploc bag, so then I know, okay, hey, this is what it's supposed to look like, with the name too, because different bags, I kind of combined different things, like winter, like coats and stuff, like kind of trying to figure out that, and like mix and match stuff, because I will have help when it comes to dressing dolls. Like, my mom will dress some dolls, my dad will, and so giving them a Ziploc bag with like a picture of the outfit and stuff, and plus, you know, when I'm undressing the dolls, making sure I put the right outfit in the right bin that has it labeled, or the right Ziploc bag, I should say, would be very beneficial too, because since I'm not good with names, so photo-wise, I think would be great, especially when it comes to mix and match stuff. Like, I got humbled really quickly going through that, like being like, oh, this is from 2020. No, it's not. It's from 2022. Like, or like 5 years later or something. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, this isn't from that, you know, like. And I even found out the other day too, when I was organizing this, that I actually had like an outfit that I use for the holidays. It's not even a holiday mix and match. It's from summer. So another thing that I've been in the process of is trying to figure out a space for my collector dolls. They've been everywhere in the doll room, and I just really want something to where they can all be kind of together, and I don't have to disturb them that much, you know, with moving them around. So I went to IKEA when the Barbie truck came to Kansas City, and I found this amazing storage, like, shelf. I feel like a common thing in the doll community is this Billy suitcase. It's not a suitcase, it's a shelf from IKEA. I feel like almost everybody has it. They either use it to put their dolls on, to make a dollhouse with. It has multiple uses, okay? Highly recommend it, okay? If you don't even collect American Girl dolls, if you're looking something for like Rainbow High, Barbie, your books, your American Girl books, like, this could work for them too. Like, because the shelves are adjustable, and like IKEA actually sells like something to put on top of the Billy suitcase, not the suitcase. Why do I keep calling it a suitcase? I have no idea. But anyways, on the shelf. So like, if you need more room, like they offer that too. And then if you want to put a door on it, you could put a door on it. Like you can like customize it to make it your own, which is super duper cool. So highly recommend the IKEA Billy shelf. I bought one and it's amazing for the collector dolls that I have on it right now. It's my new favorite thing in the doll room, I'm not gonna lie. I do need to go back and I do need to buy one more. I'm on the edge of getting a second one. Okay, so the other one I'm gonna buy, I'm gonna put it kind of by where the other one is currently in the doll room. But the second one, I'm like on the fence of. Like I feel like I should buy a second one because the collector dolls. I feel like I need to have room to expand. I don't know. So I'm on the fence about getting a second one. I feel like I need one. I feel like I need to have, I'm for sure getting a second one. It's just the third one I'm on the fence of. And the shelf wasn't that expensive either. So another reason you should check it out if you are looking for something to put stuff on. I've been setting up a lot of different fun scenes in the doll room on the table. I kind of just discovered how much I really love setting stuff up. One thing that I set up this past year that I really was like, oh my God, like I love setting stuff up for the dolls was the Super Bowl party I did for the Chiefs. I really enjoyed getting all that set up and like doing videos with it and taking pictures. And so I was like, okay, what can I do next? And so I wanted to do a farmer's market and greenhouse scene during the springtime. I had a really rough semester this past spring at school. I took 15 credit hours. It was a lot. And so I sadly did not get to set that up when I wanted to, but I still wanted to set that up. So the beginning of June, I did that. I think it was actually more in like the middle of June. I don't know. I can't remember exactly when I set that up, but it was really pretty and I really enjoyed it. I did a camping scene for kind of like a 4th of July with like a fireworks stand. I really enjoyed that. I actually like made the fireworks for the stand. Okay, I really liked that scene. And now I'm going to be doing a beach scene, okay? I have a lot of beach stuff, so I might actually do 2 beach scenes because I have the Our Generation Beach House, but then I also have the American Girl Beach Cabana, and I don't know if they could fit, like, on the table at the same time. I'll have to see. And then I also have Leah's Fruit Stand, too, which is kind of tropical. And then I have Jess's Tree Swing, which is also very tropical. So I might have to do 2. I'm not really sure how to set that up yet. I'm thinking about just pulling like all my beach stuff and just like seeing what works on the table and like, you know, doing that and then being like, okay, with the leftover stuff, maybe I can make another scene with. But I also want to do a summer boardwalk or something like a business thing because I have a lot of food trucks. I have 3 food trucks and then I have some carts. So like I have the Our Generation food truck, I have the Our Generation ice cream truck, I have the American Girl Jenny's ice cream truck, I have Our Generation's ice cream cart, I have the American Girl ice cream cart, I have the Our Generation hot dog stand, have the Our Generation popcorn cart, and then I have like the Our Generation juice bar, and then I have the American Girl concession cart, and then I have the American Girl, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it has like churros in it, and it has, maybe it's a taco stand. It's not called that, but it's something like that. I think it's a churro, I don't know. I can't remember the exact name of it, but I have that one too. So I'm like, I could really do like a summer like food boardwalk thing. I'm still in the process of working that out because I would love to get a lot of this stuff out of storage and like setting it up. And then I also have like a movie theater too that I could do something with. I love the Our Generation movie theater and like the Our Generation bowling alley. Like there's so many fun like big ticket accessory items that I have in storage that I'm just dying to get out and just set up and just do so many fun things with, you know? Yeah, that's been a really fun thing for me this summer, getting that stuff out and like using kind of like my photo like scenes too with it. I've really enjoyed doing that. So I guess I'm like in my scenes, but also like making stuff from my dolls era because I made the fireworks and then I'm turning something into a I don't want to give it away because I'm really excited about. I want to like keep you like I don't want to like spoil it for you, but I'm doing something really exciting. I'm turning something into something else. I'll say that. And it's going to be really cute. Like so cute. Like I keep talking about it to like everybody I know because I'm so excited about it. Another thing I'm excited for, I think we should officially talk about, is the Kansas City meetup. This is my first time hosting a meetup not at an American Girl store, which is both sad in a way, but also like really exciting. So I love hosting meetups at American Girl because, you know, I'm mainly American Girl doll collector. And it also kind of provides everyone at the meetup something to do, you know, it gives us stuff to talk about, looking at the displays, and something to do as well, shopping, and stuff. And it's a little bit sad that we're not doing it at American Girl store because the American Girl store in Kansas City isn't there anymore. So it's a little bit bittersweet in a way. So I always wanted to do a Kansas City meetup. This was a plan to do the meetup before COVID happened. Like the store shut down and I was like, okay, well, when it reopens, we're going to do a meetup. That was the whole plan because I think that was the time where I started kind of making friends in like the Kansas City area and by American Girl stores. Okay, well then the store never reopened because of COVID and it closed, which was really sad. And so that really dampened my plans. I put it into it because the closing really hit me hard. And there was a point where I could not bring myself to go up to Kansas City. Like I could not do anything associated with Kansas City at all because it hit me hard. Like I was really sad. I don't know if I ever talked about how bad it affected me. If I did talk about how bad it affected me, I don't remember. But yeah, it hit me. It was rough. Honestly, I'm very excited for it. Okay, I wanted to do this meetup, like I said, for a while. And I was honestly very inspired by seeing other people get together with others who live by American Girl stores where their stores closed. I know in Columbus, they do, I think, maybe quarterly, some kind of month. I don't think it's monthly. Maybe it might be seasonally. I'm not really sure. Meetups in the Columbus area where people get together because their store closed. And I think that's really beautiful. And so I was really inspired by that. And also because I shouldn't let something like a store closing affect me getting to connect with other doll collectors because I love connecting with other doll collectors. I have like a newfound love for Kansas City now too. I can't promise I'm not going to cry at the meetup. I feel like I'm definitely going to cry at least one point. And I feel like this is kind of like the beginning of something new. Like I'm watching it begin again. You know, I'm watching getting to connect with other doll collectors. And there's 2 songs that I have for the meetup because I like to put songs with like meetups and like different things. Like LA was Party in the USA. I think I did a couple for Nashville and different things like that. Well, Kansas City meetup, there's 2 songs, okay? There's one, Baggage by Kelsea Ballerini, because obviously I have baggage, but I'm gonna, you know, leave it at the door. I got baggage, but I'm hosting a meetup. You know, some of the lyrics kind of like align with like my situation, whatever. And then the second one is Begin Again by Taylor Swift, because I feel like I am watching something begin again, you know? I'm very excited for the meetup. It's going to be very bittersweet, but it's also going to be so much fun. New memories, new vibes. I'm watching it begin again. It's episode 40, and which is really crazy to me. I'm kind of emotional today. Like I'm already tearing up. Okay, I didn't even talk about anything. I just said it was episode 40. Oh, goodness. So like I mentioned, the fact that we've done this for 40 episodes now is kind of insane. I talk about the whole reason why I started my podcast in past episodes, and I did it for myself. I didn't really do it for anybody else. I just thought it would be really fun, and I never expected anybody to listen to it. I'm a big firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and I feel like the podcast, me starting one, definitely was one of them that everything happens for a reason, because I have made some great connections through, and like new friendships too, by having people on, which I never really thought would happen, I guess. I didn't really honestly think about too much of starting a podcast. Like, I had no expectations, no like visual future things other than, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Yep, done. Like I never really like thought about, I guess, important stuff or some like meaningful things. I don't know. From amazing memories to awesome friendships that I honestly cherish forever. I've also learned a lot about myself in different lessons and things for my podcast, like sticking with my gut, or planning ahead is always great. Being kind of like more myself. I feel like, no, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm very much myself in my YouTube videos and different things I share on the internet. But I feel like the podcast, especially like the reflection episodes, have brought me more of a chance to sit down and be open and honest. I talk about this in past couple episodes about how the internet is full of people sharing their successes and not times when they're going through something or kind of sweeping real feelings underneath the rug a little bit towards a different topic and different things like that. I've definitely been a victim of that, keeping stuff to myself. And there's some things that you honestly should keep to yourself. I fully am agreeing with that, if you're not comfortable with sharing that you are struggling. But at the same time, I feel like in a society that celebrates success more than failures, which we shouldn't do, everybody fails, everybody suffers. So having this podcast and kind of just realizing different things like that, and bringing up issues that I feel like just needs to be talked about, and kind of getting stuff off my chest in a way has been very, maybe therapeutic. Maybe I shouldn't use that, but I feel like the podcast has definitely been my diary a couple times. And I am very thankful that I do have something to where I can talk about stuff and be open, be honest, be reflective, share what I'm feeling, share my judgments, share my opinions, and share my failures. I feel like as a society, we need to start sharing our failures because somebody's failures could be somebody else's successful story, that you could inspire someone with what you are going through right now. So I'm overall very thankful, and I'm very thankful that I have people who listen, which is absolutely crazy to me that I do have people who listen to the podcast. Looking towards the future, I feel like this is like a good time to talk about the future. I'm not ending the podcast. I feel like I gave that impression off that I'm ending the podcast because of how I just transitioned that. We're not ending the podcast, okay? We're not. I already have plans for upcoming guests. Upcoming guests are coming on. And like looking ahead, I kind of know what I want to talk about for episode 50, which is really weird to say. But anyways, I'm very excited about where my podcast is heading. I feel like we're having so many awesome guests are coming on and people that I never thought I would ask to come on. I'm messaging them. I'm feeling like a big like confidence boost with just asking people to come on. And if they say no, it's not affecting me as much as it did. Yes, I have people say no. I've had people say no this past year. I have people leave me on red, not even reply to me, which is totally okay. Usually that would really affect me. I've talked about that before in the past episodes, but now I'm just like, okay, it's okay. Like maybe they're a little bit, embarrassed. I mean, coming on a podcast is embarrassing. I feel like, hearing yourself talk and answering questions and stuff like that. So I'm very appreciative of all the guests that I have on, and plus like trusting the other person of editing it and, not having you sound like stupid or anything, So I'm really appreciative of all the guests who have come on and trusted me with editing the episode and, stuff like that. And taking time out of their day to come on and talk about dolls, and whatever else we get into in the podcast. So I have a lot of exciting people that I'm reaching out to come on the podcast. A lot of plans that I'm hoping to implement with the podcast. I figured out a lot of people who watch my stuff like the behind the scenes stuff just as much as I do. So something that I have been working on is a behind the scenes part of my podcast. I'm so excited to tell you. Oh my God. So for 3 episodes, I have filmed the whole behind the scenes process. It's not necessarily a documentary. It's honestly just a YouTube video. I could make it a documentary if I wanted to, actually. But video, it's following me for 3 episodes, the planning part all the way up to posting it and stuff like that of my podcast. And I really wanted to do something like this because I've never really done a behind the scenes thing. And the behind the scenes stuff is what I love to watch. I love to watch somebody's day in the life. I love to watch, the behind the scenes of making something. And I realize that's kind of what some people like to watch as well with different things that I posted in the past. And so I'm very excited to officially do something like that. I'm not really sure about when I'm going to post it on my YouTube channel. I'm currently in the process of editing it. It's taking me a little bit because it's 3 episodes. It's 3 months of stuff. And I am super excited. I'm not going to tell you when I started it or anything, but I started it recently. I ended it a couple weeks. I don't know how much I want to tell you. But anyways, so it's 3 episodes. I thought about continuing it for more because I really loved kind of doing it. But at the same time, I was like, I can't do this so much that people get bored. So it's just 3 episodes. I'm really excited to post it on my YouTube channel. It's going to be coming out hopefully in the month of August. So that's exciting. Like I said, since it's 3 months, it's taken me a little bit to edit because I've never really done something like this before. If you're wanting to start a podcast or if you are curious about how the whole process works, I think you're really going to enjoy it too. Maybe you got asked to be on somebody else's podcast, Hey, it could go in handy for people, for different people, for different reasons. So yeah, I'm really excited and I hope you are too. If you all enjoyed kind of like the behind the scenes of that video when I post it, maybe I will do another one at some point, and stuff like that, because there's definitely different things that I didn't talk about in that video. So I don't know, maybe this is the start of a documentary. I always wanted to do a documentary. I don't know what I would do it over, but I would love to do a documentary. I don't know what, but I would love to. Okay, I love creating things. Okay, and a documentary, okay, I so want to do. That would be a goal. Like I said, I have no idea what it would be on. Actually, I do have one idea for a documentary, but it would take a lot of money. So maybe when I get really rich somehow, some way, I could do it. But yeah, and it's doll themed too, of course, the idea. Obviously. Alrighty, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Doll Mom Podcast. I feel like a little guest, I guess, during the episode, not the episode, during the segment of getting to know myself. I'm like, okay, maybe this is what my guests feel like, that little nervousness of answering questions. I don't know. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. I kind of wanted something different for episode 40, but also something kind of meaningful because it is the 40th episode. I want to thank you so much for listening to this episode, to past episodes if you have. If you follow me on social media, thank you so much for supporting my podcast. It really means the world to me. I can't believe we've done 40 episodes so far. It's absolutely crazy. You want to make sure that you're following the Doll Mom on social media. It is at Doll Mom Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok. So much fun, honestly. I will post when I am posting that video behind the scenes of the podcast on there. My name is Mal. I am at Dollies and Rainbows on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, TikTok. We're everywhere, so you should definitely go check us out as well, so then you don't miss out and if you're interested in that behind the scenes podcast video. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope you have a great day, great month, great time, great week, great year, great whatever until we talk next, okay? Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.